much indeed, Mike. Thank you, Helen, for those words of introduction. And it's fantastic to see so many old friends amongst you here to support this book launch from many different parts of my careers, from Jim, from my time at Triangle as well. So it's lovely. Thank you very much for coming. And thank you very much to James. James Gray is my MP, who's actually a writer in his own right, which probably not many of you know, but he did publish a book on shipping futures, which was how many years ago?
I'm surprised you haven't read it.
Well, no,
I got some copies to sign outside after.
I got past the first chapter. No, I got to the first chapter. I don't get any further. But no, it's really good to see. And thank you all for coming. As Mike was saying, it's been 20 odd years since I was at Westminster, and as he mentioned, for the previous 10 years to that, I've been working on and off with my father's transport company, and that had given me a fantastic grounding in the industry from a very early age, from loading trucks to playing around in customs warehouses to eventually cutting airway bills and actually getting to grips with the nuts and bolts of the operations. And I could have stayed with the family company for, well, I could still be there, but I wanted really to broaden my horizons and get a more in-depth understanding of some of the supply chain concepts and logistics theory, which has really sort of driven the market and brought it to where we are today. And so I went back to university and met Mike, and I have to say I found Mike to be an entirely inspirational tutor, and he really put me on the path for research and writing, which has brought me to here. So I owe a great debt of thanks to you, Mike. Thank you very much indeed. But looking back over those last 30 years, I think everybody in this room will understand the transformation which the industry has undergone. When I started work, there were still companies like Thomas Meadows around, and better known names such as AEI, Dantas, of course, Burlington Air Express, and the list goes on and on. More recently, we've seen names such as Tibbs and Britton, which I know is still hard for some people. There it is.
I mean, there we go, we'll be fine.
It's outside of over the loss of Tibbs and Britton. But we've seen all these major changes within the industry. And this really comes to the heart of the book, on really why I was sort of driven to write it. But I wanted to actually show, firstly, the evolution of the market over the last 20 to 30 years, but then also introduce an element of analysis of the trends which have driven the industry, and looking at the confluence of supply side and demand side trends. On the demand side, you've got the focus on inventory, lean inventory, on just-in-time, on outsourcing, and importantly on globalization. On the supply side, of course, you had this real push to actually increase value within the industry, move it from being a commoditized, low-value, fragmented, hyper-competitive market into something which can add value, but also increase margins, and doing that by focusing on scale of businesses, by focusing on investment in technology, and I think most importantly, investment in intellectual capital, which I think has been one of the key trends in the last 20 or 30 years, bringing in very good people, training them up, and actually adding value. So I wanted to sort of paint a picture and describe these developing trends, and how this confluence of the demand side and supply side, and fueled by cheap capital in many cases and availability of money, to create a sort of perfect storm of mergers and acquisitions, consolidation, which we've seen and is still ongoing. So it's been a very exciting industry in which to work. I mean, given that if you look back from, I suppose, the 1980s for the previous 150 years, there haven't really been much changes, certainly not in shipping. I suppose you could say containerization, but the processes were the same. The road freight, the same could be said. But suddenly, the cat was out of the box, and there were all these changes over quite a short period of time. And my book looks forward, as well as looking at the dynamics of these sectors, looking at the dynamics of contract logistics, freight forwarding, the express industry, which grew from nowhere, looking at shipping and looking at air cargo, as well as looking at the overall dynamics of the industry as it is now. I wanted to look forward 10 or 20 years and look at some of the trends which are driving the industry at the moment. For example, we take e-commerce, which is absolutely going to be transformative in nature. If you think about most of the industry at the moment, which is related to retail and consumer logistics, will there be a retail logistics industry as we know it in 10 years, let alone in 20? Will the idea of delivery to people's homes, will we see the same distribution centre, centralisation of distribution, or will there be other business models which develop? Looking at 3D printing even, which is may be even more transformative in nature, and nobody knows where that's going to go. But it certainly could have a real impact on global supply chains. It may even be that people in their own houses are printing objects which previously they would have gone down to the shops. So again, this will have an impact on the retail sector. There are so many questions related to that particular subject and nobody really knows where it goes. So it's going to be hugely interesting. A third issue which we'll pick up in the book is the emergence of Asian and African and Latin American consumers as well. Globalization has really been sort of predicated on the low transport costs, remote production due to low paid labour. But will that stay the same for the coming few years? I think that is an issue which I think with the consumers growing in the value they have to spend in Asia and Africa and Latin America, they'll become markets of consumption as well as production, and that will have huge impact on, say, the shipping volumes and shipping flows around the world. So there are lots of questions. There's going to be plenty of change in the future in the next 10, 20 years, and I think it's going to be even more exciting than it has been over the last 20 years. But what I try to do with my book is actually analyse these issues in some depth. For the first time for many years, in fact since Mike's own book back in the 80s on European logistics, I've attempted to look at the supply side in specific detail, look at the dynamics, and look at how it's grown up and its prospects for the future. So that's what I hope to achieve. I think it's for others to say whether I've achieved it, but it was fun writing it. I'm now moving on to other books, as was mentioned. I'm moving on to supply chain risk and then the third book will be on the opportunities of emerging markets. So we've got plenty of work to do, but I won't hold you up anymore because I know there's going to be some food's going to be served. But I'd just again like to thank you very, very sincerely